So judgment is a reflection of yourself, of stuff that you're not willing to face. So that's why you're judging it. And also judgment is a way that we taught about how to handle the situations in life itself.
Yes. There you go, Lynn-Dee. Good morning, and let me first introduce myself. My name is Avi, and I'm an Indian from Dubai. And this is my talk show called Minding My Business, which has not been on air for last 6 months because I didn't have the time. So I am reviving it back, and you are my first guest this season.
Thank you. I love to be back for the revival move.
Thank you, Lynn-Dee, thank you. And your profile is very, very interesting, and that is something why I contacted you. And again, this is for the audience. And yes, Lynn-Dee, you are, as your Facebook profile says, you are a love coach and a sex coach. So, I mean, I don't know what others would think that way. So let's first, before we continue the podcast, first, welcome to my show. And I hope after this discussion, even I go out a happier person, and I think you would have educated another person in the world about what is this. And today, what we are going to basically discuss is, firstly, basics. I would, as much as I would love to know, I think people would love to know. Not many people are aware who is a sex coach. What does a sex coach teach? This is one of the few things which I would like to touch, not deeply, probably, on the basics part. And then I would like to talk about the general stuff, like how do people identify themselves when they require an assistance of a sex coach, etc. So this will not be a longer discussion. I would probably keep it down to 45, 50 minutes, but then there you go. I mean,
Whoa, I'm not going to touch that much. I can only say so much. Okay, thank you so much I loved how you made your intro. You're an Indian from Dubai. I am a white lady from South Africa. So just quickly going into what you're saying in regards to sex coach. So why it's needed in our society itself, because we don't get taught this stuff in our curriculum. Yes, we learn biology, but biology is all for procreation. And we as humans we still are every day, we evolving, and we have consciousness that's beyond our comprehension, and that is beyond biology itself. Yes. So we need to be taught that sex is not for entertainment. Sex is for healing. Sex is for making the unconscious conscious. So that is what it's for. And facing that deep, intimate, conversations we don't speak about because it's such a taboo topic. So bringing all that shit out into the open, putting a torch on the subject so it doesn't get left behind in dark closets, and you're making up your assumptions that there's something wrong with you, and that this experience of all humans are a natural experience of all feeling this, and we are facing the wounds of so many repressed years of so many people. So if you normally get a resistance to the topic itself, there's a lot of growth still there. But people are in their comfort zone, and they saying, what is she doing? She's a witch, or she's I don't know, showing projections on me.
That's a taboo.
But we all are mirrors of each other. And it took a lot of debunking all the stuff that I learned and tapping into the wisdom of your body and what it has for every moment. So coming back to that, we are also not taught a motherly love And if I'm talking about a motherly love, I'm talking about a fascia that can love you beyond conditions.
Okay.
So that is something we think we know what that is, but we have no idea.
Yeah.
No, because that is in a feeling itself. And that takes a lot of vulnerability. And sex itself takes, if you take, for instance, like that porn moves they show on the porn industry, that move itself that they're showing there takes a lot of intimacy for you to do that move. But we just see that, oh, it's there, it's done, that's how it's supposed to look. But they're not saying the humanly emotions it takes for you to obtain that. So I hope that makes sense what I'm doing.
Yes, of course. Yes. I mean, one of the questions which I wanted to ask you again, so there would be, you would have a lot of people you would be treating with. So, say for example, a person who, so I'm asking you this from any general person's point of view, say a man, a woman who come to you. How much do you think the courage they need? Because there are a lot of people in this world who would be having this problem inside their head, but what you understand what I'm saying? How much they require that courage to come to you and let it out, like. Say, Lynn-Dee, like, this is the problem I'm facing. This is something which I'm not okay with, because probably they're not telling it to themselves as well. Like, we are scared to acknowledge that problem, all of us. And so we ignore it till the bubble bursts. And probably it's too late or it's late or something. But, we don't actually acknowledge it until it's too late, So what I wanted to know is that human psychology where, I don't know if you are when patients come to you or people come to you, let's say when people come to you, are they like immediately very comfortable talking about it, or, it takes a lot of time, of course. I can't just say, go to Lynn-Dee and talk about everything in one go, but what I'm asking, I'm trying to understand that.
I understand completely what you're asking. Yes. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No problem. Yes, Lynn-Dee, over to you.
So in regards to that, people are on different levels. And I'm not putting levels out there. I'm just saying for the sake for the listeners to understand. So the listeners is not to compare one is better than level 8. There's no such thing. You are where you are for a reason. Correct. And so there is different levels of men. I don't even know what's the word, but there's different source of healers to help you at your stage where you are at. So then saying that, there's also a free will. There's free will. And a lot of people play the free will stuff, the identity and stuff like that. And a lot of people is not willing to let that go. And it's also fine because we are not here to force anyone. We can just inspire. We can just inspire them.
Yeah.
But we can't force them.
Show a way, but you can't force anyone. You could just probably show the way, and at the end of the day, the person himself or herself, they have to decide. So, Lynn-Dee, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been a sex coach? Like, been a long time, I believe.
No, not a long time. 2020. So that's a year or 2 years.
Okay. And
where are we now?
What were you 21. Doing? 21.
21. What was I doing before that? I was always into admin. Administrational work.
Okay.
So I still do administrational work on the side between the sex coaching, but my deep passion is this. If I could call if a client calls for this, I'm like, hell no, admin go.
Okay. Understood. So, Lynn-Dee, I'll not keep you long, but there are a few things which I wanted to actually ask you. And one of the most important thing is, So without taking any names, of course, we are not taking anybody's names. But I would want to know, say, when somebody comes to you with a grievance which they're having in their head, I call it in their head because it is all in there. And, when they come to you and when they talk to you, I mean, it's a process, of course. I mean, you said like it's not like level 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no level as such. But then, I mean, I want to know how much, say, how much time, or is there no time limit to, cater to that problem, or it's just, it takes its own time, or is there I mean, of course, there's no time limit, but then say, when you start talking to them and when you give your inputs, you would probably have your own clients. So like when you see the improvements coming up, does it like vary a lot, or like, you have a say, you've been talking to a client for 4 months, 5 months, and then you start, probably then they start telling you, okay, life's improving, life's good. I'm just trying to understand, is there of course, there's nothing definitive, it could take a year, 2 years, 10 years, 1 day, 2 day, 1 hour, but I'm just trying to understand from your clientele, since you started in 2020, just wanted to know, I mean, just a basic idea, like, how the turnaround time, there's no turnaround, but if there would be, like, if we would quantify this in a way, like approximately.
Okay. So what I would say to you is, remember, time is made up by man.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind. And mind, we are taught to have a production because we come out of the industrial era. So we need everything for production, and that's how we handle our relationships. If you're not doing that, this is not going to happen. And yeah, let's go. There's something wrong with you. So keep that in mind, that is a lot of programming in itself. So it's debunking that idea that we have to have a time frame on everything, because everything is actually, if you embrace only the now, there is actually no time. Yeah. I know that's a difficult concept for some people to understand, but if you live in the flow of the state of nature, then it's just yummy. Can't describe it. So what you must remember regards to your questions is, when people come to see me, their line of background, and not one is the same. Not one.
Yes, of course.
Their line of backgrounds, what they've experienced in life itself that brought them to me is a different kind, at a different, like I said, the levels. But that is taking that person's capacity and coming back to your body's wisdom, because there's no race. We grow in our own. We grow in our own natural I don't know what's the word. So it's coming back, and you understanding your nerve system, and you understanding how to, first of all, incorporate the feeling of pleasure, love, joy into your own life before you can embrace people around you, because that's still very vulnerable. Your true intimacy.
Yes,
so I hope that answers your question.
Yes, so you have answered my question. Yes, you do. I mean, of course, there's no timeline, so that is not something. I mean, I was not looking for a timeline. Actually, I just wanted to know, and I think you have answered my question.
You were gone. Your voice.
Yeah, you have answered my question.
Okay, and, good.
Lynn-Dee, another one. So what I want to know is, when people come to you, when there are, say, when people come and open up to you, so do you like, say there's a guy who's come to you and he has his set of problems, or there's a lady who has a set of problems, which she's telling it to you, like, I mean, how much? So, I mean, what I am trying to understand is, you could only help them if they are completely open to you, or like, there are many people who come to you, but like they're giving themselves a false sense of satisfaction that, okay, I've told everything to Lynn-Dee, now she'll help me out. But actually they haven't,
That is the point of the discovery call.
Yeah,
I understand. That is the point of the discovery call. So it's not I always say to the clients, let's see if we're a match. And that's not to be wronging you or shaming you in any case. It's just to see if I'm really going to be helping you. So that's why we talk on the discovery call beforehand to see if we're aligned to co-create together, because we are mirror neurons of each other. So, I mean, if I get clients, I grow as well. We grow together. It's not just me putting up I know everything cap and I will help you. That's not how it works. It is us being vulnerable and being intimate with each other, and then taking that vulnerability, and that takes a lot of courage. So that is hence the opportunity of the discovery call, to see if that is if we're in tune, and this is more like a feeling.
I will put down your link also in my YouTube description, so that anybody else who would like to talk to you probably would get in touch with you as well. So Lynn-Dee, I would lastly come to this particular segment called taboo. And this is something which I want to talk about this because, again, when people have this conversation, they get very uncomfortable. It's something which is the most important conversations in the world are generally uncomfortable. And, our society, even now, wherever we come from, when you say you are going to meet a sex coach, or when you say you are a sex coach, I want to know from you as well. I mean, of course, you told me in the beginning that, yes, it is considered a taboo. Now, of course, I mean, we are evolving day by day. It's 2021. It's no more 1991. So we have evolved. But then when you started out, what kind of, of course, I mean, there's no resistance unless you believe it is a resistance to you. But what kind of, say, like you go around and, oh, you're a sex coach, and they say something which you wouldn't like, then you would like to correct them, like, oh, that's not what sex coach means. Come here, I'll teach you. So how many, I mean, you would have experienced something like this, like, or it was pretty okay with you, and, when you met people around and you said, okay, this is what now I am going to do, and people, did they just embrace it, or they were like, like, we are not judgmental, but we are judgmental, we don't realize how judgmental we become, but yeah, we are a society of judgmental people. Like we
exactly. Well done.
I mean, as a society, as much as I would like to say I am not judgmental, but I look at something and I call it like, oh, it's good or bad. I mean, we are, like, say, we don't acknowledge it, but unfortunately, that is a human behavior which we have to acknowledge that we are judgmental. So I want to know those things which probably you came, so that at least, people who are watching this, they know that, like, bro, if you have an issue, just go out, go talk to someone. You don't have to be, you don't have to talk to those people who you think would probably judge you. Just, just be easy. That's what I'm trying to get to.
So judgment is a reflection of yourself, of stuff that you're not willing to face. So that's why you're judging it. And also judgment is a way that we taught about how to handle the situations in life itself. Yes. So I go into depth with this judgments. I go question it more, because there's a lot of information in those words that is secretly hidden in your body. So yes, I don't get openly welcome. I get a, woo, you're crazy, dude. What are you doing? But what I've seen is that there's a hunger, there's a craving for this stuff. Yes. There is, like, secretively people say, are you fucking crazy? And then they're like, what's up?
They'll WhatsApp you. Yeah.
Like, that's what you're spoken about. So there's a true hunger there. And what I would like to say is, I judge myself I just wanted to, it was one question you asked earlier in regards to that. It is when you come into this lifestyle, because there's a lot of conditioning to debunk, shame, guilt, a lot of stuff that needs to be faced. Like I said, it needs to be conscious. The unconscious, because we're running on programs the whole time, patterning. And as soon as we stop the brain and say, listen, I want to try this, it feels uncomfortable. There's resistance, there's judgment, because your mind can, when it gets new information, like say you get me, I'm new. Let's say I'm new. Yeah. So you get me and your brain goes, okay, have I seen this one before? So it goes into your brain files and looking for a file that it can match. And if it can't match any file in your brain, it projects what's going to happen. Yeah. So you're already saying, bad news, she's a fucking whore. Sorry, I'm just using that word.
It's okay. We're having a conversation. It's fine.
She's going crazy. That's what you're projecting. So we are socially entwined. We have nerve systems that want to connect. So if we can't make that connection, you just like, hi, why are you like, you just go with the programming. So that is where my patterning as a coach comes into play, is understanding your nerve system and allowing growth to happen, for you not to be stuck into that programming of that itself. So, that is it.
Yeah. And yes, you have answered my question also. And I was going to ask you something which I forgot. Okay.
I would love to take a breath with that. Maybe you can remember it.
So, Lynn-Dee, you have answered everything. I think beyond this would be our discovery call, which probably, people would be taking with you. So I will not go in depth. You have explained to me who XXX Coach is, what you do. So lastly, the last question which I want to know is acknowledgement. I did touch the question before, so I will go a little deep about what I mean with acknowledgement. For sex coaches to come into someone's life, so for a person XYZ, if they want to meet, they want to, probably have say a person A is going to a sex coach, him deciding the fact that I need one, him coming to, what you said now, like, you go and talk to people and then quietly they'll come and WhatsApp you, I think we are in a society right now where we are still going to quietly, murmur in your ears. And, we are still not in that world where probably 100 years later, I don't know when, where we could probably openly talk about it, or maybe never. So you think this is still fine as long as people are, of course it's fine. But do you think this way, at least, if, why I say this question as acknowledgement? So when people acknowledge that they have an issue, because again, I'm going back to the beginning of the conversation, where often we don't acknowledge what's going on. And, probably it's not the 90s anymore where you could like, okay, laugh it off and, oh, you're just, go get help, People used to joke around, but it's not help anymore. I would like to call it assistance, I would like to call it as an assistance, because, there are people in the world who could probably be a CEO, but CEO of a company, and he or she might require an assistance of this kind. So how easy has it become from the past? I think you would have known people from the past. So this is my last question anyways. I'll not pull much. When you go back to the 90s or the early 2000s or the 2010s, and when you come to say 2021 now, like, of course you have started this from 2020, but you would have met people. How easy are they right now coming out and acknowledging this problem within themselves than what it was before? Of course, it was less, but has it been a drastic increase in, like people who have now started acknowledging their problem, or like is it still like a very say, oh, I'll come to your ears and quietly type it and go back to you? How is it like? That's it. That's what
So I can't speak because I've not been a sex coach that long. I had to go to school before then.
Yes, of course.
So probably in 20 years' time, I can tell you this stats for sure. But what I can say from my lived experience till now is there is still a lot to face itself, and a lot of people, and that's coming back. It is where it is, and don't ever underestimate the power of a seed. So rather plant a seed than not see it grow at all.
Not see it grow.
So if I'm planting a seed today, I'm not wanting it to come up today. I'm going to see it in futures to come. So I truly feel that this, not just my coaching, but the whole in healing industry, holistic healing. Well, there's a lot of trauma healing, I would say that is something that needs to be put into curriculums at schools, and that's something that needs to that's something that needs to be taught, because that is our basic needs as humans, and we get traumatized constantly. And we just project all that stuff onto each other. And the interesting fact that I read the other day, they say domestic animals and humans are the only one experiencing trauma. So the animals in the wild, they have a mechanism to release that. We don't, because we're not taught how we know, okay, we have emotions, but we make them bad or good. We don't know what the fuck to do with our emotions. Nobody's telling us, oh, I'm having this. What am I supposed to do with this? So that really needs to come into the mainstream of our existence. And to be normalized. And maybe I would not see it coming here in my lifetime, but I would not underestimate the power I'm leaving. The power I'm leaving for the next generation.
Okay. Fair enough. And I have you have covered all of my questions, Lynn-Dee. And again, thank you very much for coming to my show. And let me first stop the recording.
Okay.